okay.
I'm not going to wear my Bona Rays t-shirt.
Hey. My name's Pav, and I'm here with
Chaz from Bona Rays.
When I saw that Bona Rays were on the lineup, I was excited because I'd read the bio, I read what you were about. How did it feel playing Decolonise Festival yesterday?
Do you know what? It was an honour. Honestly, years ago when I was doing this music, there was X-Ray Specs, who was well known, and there was me, who was not at all well known. And just to see black people embracing this music, and indeed were the origins of this kind of music, it was such an honour to play here.
For people that are unaware of Bona Rays, how would you describe your journey and where you've been and what you're about?
Well, journey was long. So I joined a band when I was 17. That was a very long time ago, back in 1976. The band went along for about 8 years, and then we broke up. I didn't do anything musically again until the band was rediscovered in 2018. And since then, we've obviously had lockdown, but we've released a few singles. We are playing bigger and bigger gigs. We're getting great feedback, and this is the biggest audience we've ever played to, and it was fantastically comfortable to step into.
Yeah. How does it feel being in a project that's existed for that length of time?
Do you know, time is kaleidoscopic because it feels long and it feels short at the same time. Like every time we do a performance, it kind of coalesces all our rehearsals and preparation, and at my age I'm learning how to do social media, and I'm getting better and better at it. Decolonise came along back at the beginning of this year, and it felt like a really long time away, but on Friday I was scrabbling to finish my costume and what makeup I'm going to wear, and I'm thinking, God, you've had 6 months to do this. So do you know what I mean? It felt like a long time, and then it just kind of went really short.
Yes, yeah. It creeps up quickly.
It does.
How did it feel being a part of a music scene in London, I presume?
Yeah, London.
In 1976.
It was the most fun, most liberating time of my life. I didn't realise I'd been looking for something until the whole punk thing came along. I just left school. I was working at the BBC.
Really?
And it was the first. It was the first time that I felt like part of something.
Yes.
And dived right in. I didn't want to miss any of it. I didn't sleep. I helped myself to stay awake.
Yes.
And basically joined a band. We toured a great deal. We were a favourite with John Peel. We just had a really, really, really great time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Favourite with John Peel.
Yeah.
That's like goosebumps for me.
You know John Peel?
Of course. John Peel's the legend that put all the bands on the radar.
He certainly did. And in those days, Radio 1 DJs used to do tours. Most of them were not my taste.
Yeah.
But John Peel did a tour all over the country, but we joined the first iteration of this band, joined that tour for the whole of the West Country.
Wow, how was that? Who were you touring with? How was it? Did you meet John Peel? What was the...
So we were the live band on the DJing and the talking, the interviews that he did. So we were the live band, and it was amazing. We did about 33 dates on that tour.
Wow.
So it was really fantastic. Of course, we didn't get to see John Peel that much because, he travelled separately, we travelled separately, but it was an amazing time.
And just to bring some focus to the kind of music that you make, for someone that's never listened to the Bona Rays, how would you describe what you're making?
We kind of struggle with that one a little bit because back in the day it was punk, but we don't, it was raw punk, and we don't do those songs anymore. I think Poser's the only one that's left over because it became a single.
Yes.
But it's a new band. I'm the only original member, and we are writing new songs, and we're getting clearer and clearer what direction we want to go in.
Yeah.
We go and see a lot. This is why Decolonise has been such a gift. Anyone, if you haven't come to Decolonise before, come next year. It's such an inspiration. So for us, it's not that we want to copy bands, but you do get an indication when you see lots of bands together of a direction you don't want to go in, but more, better, a direction you do want to go in. And it's not copy, it's just how it resonates with you.
100%.
What it invokes in you, how it inspires you.
100%. That's super cool to hear.
Yeah.
How did Decolonise compare to gigs that you were playing back in the day?
Ooh, you're asking me to remember back a long way.
Sorry. Apart from the smoking indoors.
Back in the day, there were so many more venues to play at. There were, and every college, every university had a uni like entertainment.
Yes.
So we did play in a lot of universities and a lot of colleges, as well as a lot of pubs and bars and the usual places that you play. Decolonise, by comparison, I've never actually played at anything like this, and I've been so excited, and I've had to kind of temper my excitement because it could all go horribly wrong just because I'm overexcited. But it was amazing, the preparation to do this, and also just the acknowledgement of people of colour doing this kind of music. We so often don't get credit for things that we started or that we inspired. And so for me, Decolonise, the rest of the guys in my band are white, and it's, they totally are supportive. But there is a thing where unless you're a person of colour, you don't really understand. You can't even begin to realise what it's like to have to wear a mask every day. On top of the mask that most people have to wear every day, there is this mask of, especially if you're a black woman, don't be too boisterous, too noisy, too angry,
And here you are in a punk band.
Yeah. Yeah, doing that. And, I love the way that it subverts any kind of caricature of any people of colour, demure Indians, noisy black people, that it subverts that, and you can actually just be yourself. Yes. And I walked on stage yesterday and something clicked, and I was like, I was 100% myself yesterday.
Everyone could see that. You were solid, you were strong, and you just seemed completely yourself.
Yeah, and that was that's what's different. That's my main difference between playing before and playing now. Before, when I was younger, I wanted to look cool. Mm-hmm. There was no precedent of black people doing this genre of music then. So it was kind of like you had to pioneer. And you turn up at gigs and people didn't take you seriously. They so concentrated on your skin color that they almost couldn't listen to the music. Whereas now, we're nearly half a century down the line, and so Decolonise for me is just like, it's fun, it's friendly, so friendly, and a lot of that helped put me at my ease. And on top of that, as an older person, I've really learnt to just be myself. Some people are going to like it, some people are not going to like it, and I don't care.
And you shouldn't. Like you're saying, it's so friendly. And one thing that I've noticed about the Decolonise audience is that there's all ages. Everyone's very, very welcoming. A really diverse audience.
And that's what I liked about it. I like, this really diverse audience. I got talking to so many people yesterday after we played the gig. So many people came up. We sold a record number of merchandise, or a record amount of merchandise. So we must have done something right.
I think you left an impression. You guys were a wonderful like addition to the lineup. Really, I noticed as well, just on the environment aspect that we were talking about. There was a lot of people who come from America by themselves here, making friends, feeling welcome. So it's good to hear that you're echoing that. This is a great environment.
It's so inclusive. So for me, inclusivity is nirvana. I lived in America for a while, and there are a lot of different races, creeds, colours, languages, religions there, but everybody sticks to their own. And to a certain extent it does happen here, but and maybe it's a little worse now than it used to be. You know, that whole sort of early punk thing was a renaissance of everybody mixing together, and that's now echoed down the corridors of time to decolonise how I experienced it yesterday.
That is so poetic. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That was, I could honestly chat to you forever. I hate to like fixate on the past, but I just think it's so cool that you've like experienced that.
Yeah.
You've experienced this, and I was just so intrigued to know